Hi soulmates, you are welcome back to my channel. My name is Tekla Ezugu, and in today's video I'll be teaching you how to make this trendy corset blouse on your screen right now. So if this sounds like something that you like to learn, go ahead now, like this video, subscribe to this channel, and also remember to turn on your notification bell so that you, my precious one, will be the very first person to know any day and anytime we have a new tutorial up. For this particular blouse, we are going to start with the pattern drafting, and I have simplified this tutorial in a way that even a beginner can understand, so pay attention. So now I went ahead to mark out my measurements. My shoulder to nipple is 11, my shoulder to underbust is 15, and then my shoulder to waist is 18. And for this particular blouse, you would notice that it extends all the way to your hip line. So the full length of this blouse is my hip line. And my shoulder to my hip line is 28 inches, which is 10 inches from my waist. Then I marked my shoulder divided by 2, which is 8, and then I came up by 2 inches on my bust point to get my chest line. Now I'm going to mark my standard neckline, which is 3 by 3, and I'm just going to connect that for now. Then I'm going to now find my shoulder slope, and I'm going to mark that down as well. Now my bust span is 8 divided by 2, that is 4. So I'm going to go ahead and impute that down from my bust point all the way to my hip line, and I'm going to go ahead and connect the lines together. Now we are going to take our underbust dart. Before then, I'm going to divide whatever I have remaining on my shoulder slope by 2, and I'm going to connect it to my nipple line. So for this particular blouse, we'll be making use of a shoulder dart as well. Now for my underbust dart, I'll be taking in 1 inch on both sides, and I'm also going to do the same thing on the hip line. So after marking 1 inch on both sides of my underbust to my hip, I went ahead to connect the lines together. Now I also went in with my curved ruler to connect it to my bust point, just the way you can see. Now go ahead and determine where you would actually want the neckline to start. That is where you would want your yoke to stop. Now this depends on how open you would actually want it to be. So I came down by 8 inches from my shoulder, and I marked 0.75 on each side of the line. Now go ahead to reconnect it back to your bust point. Please kindly note the way I'm connecting these lines. You can see that I'm trying to make sure that the curve is running from my underbust all the way to my yoke line, right? So I now went ahead to now measure my dart legs, just to make sure that my 2 dart legs are equal. And I noticed this particular one is a little bit shorter, so I extended it. So by this way, our overbust tightening is done, and also our underbust tightening is out already. Now, I am now going to go ahead to determine the depth of my yoke. You can see that this blouse is actually very deep, which is where the yoke started from, where the yoke joined the African fabric. So I came down by 9.5 inches, and then I came in by ½ inch and marked it. This is going to serve as a guide. Now, I would also like to say that this is not a bustier corset. This corset actually has a bra cup, and it has a 2-piece bra cup, so it is not a bustier corset. We are going to be attaching a bra cup to it, and the bra cup is a two-piece bra cup. So after connecting to that half inch that I came in with, I now went ahead to connect it to my under bust, and I measured what I have on that bra cup, which is 3.25. I added extra half inch to it to make it 3.75, and then I extended it on the on the other side. Reason being that your breast is actually bigger on the side than on the front, right? Now for my armhole curve, I came up by 3 inches on my chest line, and that place I also came in by half inch. I am going to go ahead to connect it to the shoulder slope and then take the armhole curve. The round bust that I am working with is 40, divided by 4 is 10. That is what you can see me marking, and this pattern is for a size 12 measurement, a size 12 body. Then I would go ahead to now connect that together. So now I'm now going to extend my yoke line. In order to do that, come down by half inch from your chest line and then connect all the way to your chest line. Now, if you have not liked this video, or if this is your first time coming to this channel, please go ahead and like the video. I would also encourage you to subscribe to this channel, because on this channel we share so many tutorials on sewing and fashion business courses, tips and tricks. So now, the waist I am working with is 31, and I want to snatch the waist by 3. So 31 minus 3 is 28. 28 divided by 4 is 7. So automatically my waist measurement is 7. So I impute the 7 and then I added back the 2 inches that we took. So what I marked on my waistline is 9, and then I connected it all the way to my bust point. And I also went ahead to now extend my second bra cup. So you can see that we have created our two-piece bra cup. Now my hip is 10 3/4, which is 10.75. You can, and then I went ahead to add back the dart. So now you can see that the hip of this blouse is a kind of has a concave effect. It's like a conical hip, right? So we are also going to take note of that. And then from my waistline, I'm going to come down by about 5 inches. And from that 5 inches, I'm going to go out by 1/4 of an inch. You can also go out by about half of an inch, depending on how concave you would actually want your hip to be. The most important thing is to give it a concave effect, like a conical effect on the hip. Then I'm now going to go ahead and connect that together. Don't make this particular part to lap directly on your hip. That is what I'm trying to say. Give it a concave effect. Let it have a little allowance from your hip. Now, for the front opening, I came down by 4 inches from my waistline, and then I connected it to my first dart leg. That is 3 inches, right? So you can see that this blouse has an opening on the front. And then I went ahead to connect that together. And you can see that our blouse is already taking shape. So now let's go ahead and do the bust point dart. So I came down by 1.5 inches from my bust line. Kindly note that what you use as your bust point dart is the difference between your front half length and your back half length. So mine is 1.5 inches, and I went ahead to mark the 1.5 inches. So right now I'll just go ahead to close up my dart, and after doing that, this is what I have. And I also wanted to say that this pattern paper is actually on fold. When you are drafting yours, you can draft it on fold. Now, you would also notice that the hemline of this blouse has a scallop hemline, but it's like triangular. So that is exactly what I'm trying to shape out right now. The hemline has like a scallop effect, but it's triangular in shape. So that is exactly what I went ahead to mark out. And then you can see how my pattern is already taking shape. If you have not joined our membership on this YouTube, go ahead now to click the join button showing on your screen so that you can learn our fashion business course. We have so many tutorials on fashion business course, just like I've said before. Knowing how to sew is not enough. You need to learn about how to scale your business if you are trying to build a brand. And the only way to do that is to join our fashion business course on this YouTube. Just click the join button on your screen and then follow through with it. Our blazer class is also coming up very soon, and in order to join our detailed class, all you have to do is to click on the WhatsApp link in the comments and it will bring you directly to my WhatsApp, or you can click the seller link on our bio to get the course directly on seller. We also have a detailed corset class. If you want to level up your corset journey, all you have to do is click the WhatsApp link in the comments or click the seller link on our bio. The blazer class is 15,000. The corset class is 15,000. We also accept international payments. So now, after cutting out my yoke, I labeled it left and right. On the left part, I took out about 1.25 inches, and then I came down to my first dart leg. Remember that place that we have darts on the corset cup? I noted it and then I came down there. Sorry, I didn't take note of that, but you must have seen it when I was doing that. So now on the right side, I came in by 1/4 of an inch. At this point, I'm trying to form my asymmetric neckline, because you know that this blouse has an asymmetric neckline. So remember to label it left and right so that you do not get confused. And then I just dragged it down to the place where I have my corset dart. You can rewatch this part to get exactly what I am saying. Now, at this point, you can also decide to open up a shoulder dart and then manipulate this. But because I want to carry everybody along and I didn't want the tutorial to be too advanced, so I just went ahead to cut the yoke directly, and it's also going to work for you. Now, if I've watched up to this point, please go ahead, give us a thumbs up, and now let's move to the back. So you remember that I told you that for your bust point that it is the difference between your front and your back half length. So now that 1.5 inches, I minus it on my back half length. So my back half length is 1.5 inches shorter than my front half length. From my under bust to my waist on the front is 3 inches. 3 inches minus 1.5 inches is 1.5 inches. So from my under bust on the back, I came down by just 1.5 inches, right? So you can see that my half length on the back is shorter than my half length on the front, right? And then I just added back my body measurements, and I am now going to go ahead to use my front pattern to now cover out the hip on the back so that everything can align. And after covering that out, you can see exactly what I have. So right now, for my back yoke, I am going to come down by 9.5 inches, and I'm going to connect it together because the back of this blouse is actually closed, like the yoke is closed. Then for my corset opening, I'll be coming in by 2.5 inches on the chest line and then 1 inches on my hemline. And I'll just go ahead to connect that together. And if you do it like this, you would actually achieve exactly what we have on the blouse. Now for my yoke tightening, I came up by ½ inch from that chest line, or where I want my yoke to start. And that place is definitely going out, right? So now this is my back pattern. I'm also trying to mark out the scallop hemline, kind of like the shape on the hemline. And if you want to make yours curved, that is not a problem. You can go ahead and just do that. So by this way, the back pattern is out. And I'm going to go ahead now to cut that out. And then we are going to manipulate the back yoke. We also have a WhatsApp community of over 800 tellers. If you want to join, all you have to do is click the WhatsApp link in the comments. The community is just for tailors and designers. If you are not a tailor or a designer, you don't have to join. Click the WhatsApp link in the comments and it will bring you directly to my WhatsApp. So now, in order to manipulate the back yoke, you can see the way I brought the front to make sure that everything is aligning. So on the right part where I took 1 inch, I also did the same thing on the back. And on the left where I took out 1.5 inches, I also did the same thing on the back. You can see the way I placed that, which is exactly why I told you to label your front yoke so you don't make any mistake. And then I'll now connect it to 1 inch on the center part to form a round neck. Don't just do a random round neck. Make sure that you take out the same thing as you should, just the way we did for the front, so that your neckline will relax. So after cutting the back, this is what I have. And remember that your left and your right yoke are not the same. So you are going to cut it separately, right? So you can see what the back pattern looks like, and then this is the front. After I've gummed it together, I'll just go ahead and loosen it up so that you see. Also remember to cut your center pattern together. Now my yoke was a little bit longer when I attached it, so I just trimmed it out. It's not going to affect your pattern. So you can see exactly what I have. This is how you are going to cut it out on your fabric. Add your sewing allowance, of course, and then form your two-piece brack up. I just taped it so that you can see exactly what I have. And thank you so much guys for watching. Do you want to see the sewing tutorial? I want to see your comments. Comment down below. And my name is Tekla Ezugu. To join our detailed online classes, just go ahead, click the WhatsApp link in the comments, or you can also use the seller link on our bio on this YouTube. And until my next video, guys, my name is Tekla. You can follow me on all social media platforms to see all the amazing dresses that I will make. And until my next video, bye.